Take a large football stadium, an inventive track designer, several thousand cubic metres of dirt, and let 150 crazy motocross riders do their best to create havoc. That's Supercross, one of the fastest growing competitions in motorsport today. Each Supercross track is individual in design, but will include stutter bumps, quad jumps, single jumps, and maybe a bridge. Taking up 2 football fields, the track at the Fulton Hogan Stadium for round 3 of the Coca-Cola Pan Pacific Supercross Series is one of the largest in the world. Riders should soar up to 30 triple jump, while the tight loop around the bridge will test both machine handling and rider ability. Much of the excitement is centred around the entry of riders from the big Supercross nations like Australia, USA, New Zealand and Japan, but also the presence of guys like Chakri Sakrisakit from Thailand and Frans Tanujaya of Indonesia. These guys are adopted by a Kiwi factory race team, and while they may not always be amongst the leaders, they are here to gain valuable experience. Top Japanese rider Shigeki Hanada is a full-time factory rider testing for the Kawasaki development and racing team.
This handlebar is only used in Japan. Yes. And they actually use a different design of handlebar for overseas countries.
The Supercross riders fight for a place in the final in 4 heats. The top 5 from each heat go through to the semis, and there are also 2 last chance heats for the slower riders. And by Heat B, it is already evident that the Aussies are not here for a holiday.
The third jump, so big air time there, round on the tight burn bank corner. Then we go into the series of quads, and he does them nicely, 2 by 2. You can see the flowing motion there, with Hanada still behind him, the official Japanese representative, as the test factory Kawasaki rider does an excellent place in Japan, far better than we've seen from other riders here in New Zealand, becoming accustomed to our conditions very quickly, to his real credit. The Australians find that a lot easier as we compare so very much with the track conditions and types between the Trans-Tasman countries. So it's the Aussies that lead the charge at the moment in the second of the heat, and certainly the international riders showing a true class at the moment. Doran from Hanada, with Doran on the Suzuki, leading out nicely at the moment. There he goes, power to the ground. He's got the speedway slide on. Now we head once again through with those stutters for the last time, this time to the Coca-Cola finish, and a beautiful run for Doran. Look at that, Hanada right behind him. So here we are to the Yamaha starter clean breakaway. We're into heat number C at the moment. This is a charge to find out who will be our top campaigners when we head into the finals later on in the night. First of all, we've got to sort out our semis campaigners, but it's Ashkenazi. Look at that early break on the field already as he fires the Suzuki to the number 1 early stages. The swarming behind him. We can see though that 5 Tabo's John Penny has broken clear of Phil Sargent at the moment. That'll be a good challenge in the early part of the race, but it's the Yellow Magic out in front already with the airtime. Look at the treble jumps. He lands on the downside of the third one already into the boom bank corner and pulls away over a very tricky double end. Doesn't quite get it. You'll see that the front catches on the top, but here now to the towers. Quads 2 by 2. They do them nicely, but 10 right in behind him at the moment. Young Damien King from New Plymouth on the charge. 14 Super Toot Brendan Tootle from the Manual 2 slots in with that top 5 as well. So it's A as we go back to Ashkenazi, the Australian, having only his second visit to New Zealand, but at 18 years of age, a man with a huge future on 2 wheels over the airtime with the DB draft bridge. Here we go to the step up. It's down through to the boom, and look at that break on the field already. Up to 10 to fly in there. That's Damien King with Phil Sargent in there for third. We've got John Keeney as well, and Brendan Tootle to make our top 5.
You must be fairly happy with
for sure, you know, coming out first, you know, in your first night definitely pumps you up for the rest of the night's racing, but yeah, we'll just take it as it comes and see how the rest of the night goes.
You came second, I think, to Shane King last night. How do you fancy yourself later on tonight?
Well, of course, hopefully I can equal that performance, or if not do better. But Shane's riding well. It's his, you know, obviously his own country here, and I'm a foreigner, so it makes it a bit harder. But you know, I'm sure if I stick my neck out a little bit, I could possibly do it.
Well, after an excellent start from the veteran Glenn Bell from Australia, he holds a comfortable lead at the moment in Heat C, the 4th and final of the heats, which will then have our top 20 riders to go through to the semis. There'll be more from the last chance later. There's the airtime already from Bell at 30 years of age in Supercross, and many have given up at this. To his credit, Green is still a top rider, and even in 1991 still won the 125 and 500cc moto titles in Australia. So it's B, Glenn Bell a charge on the Whiting Honda supported CR125, a bike that he's not too familiar with as he's been doing mostly 250 racing in Australia. So to his credit, on the smaller 125, going extremely well to lead the other international hopeful Peter Melton in the lineup. So it's Bell at the moment. You would think he's out for a national title for this one. He'll be loving it in front of the star-studded field as we go into the corner. It's B, Glenn Bell. Look at the control. He keeps a power on. He keeps both feet on the pegs. The gas is on. Here we go for Coca-Cola action. It's B, Glenn Bell, that takes it away. A fine fired-up run there. As we look to update, we can catch our top group when we go through. MP from Australia will come through in second place, but of course after the top 5 for the final.
Standard of the competition here for you, Glenn?
You know, the New Zealand riders, Shane King are riding very fast, and you know, they've imported a lot of riders, and hectic out there, and there's going to be some really close racing.
The series is not important because it's a 125 series. It doesn't mean a lot to our sponsors, but here in New Zealand, it's important to me because it's our home country, and you know, it's the New Zealand people sitting up in the stands. You know, want to put a show on for them and do well for them. So I don't really care about the championship. Last year I did get first equal with Eddie Warren, and I missed out on going to the last round in Thailand because of a broken collarbone. That was a disappointment, but you know, I'm just worried about the last race tonight, and I plan on doing well.
Shane, we're coming into this round with a fairly tight point situation. I guess you're pretty keen to pull Peter Melton back.
Yeah, well, I'd had a good result in Japan and in Australia, and I'm 5 points behind Peter. So last night in the first preliminary races here, I won it, no worries. So I'll be giving it everything I can, and hopefully I can pull back that lead, even get a on him.
Yeah, Peter, we're coming into the third round now, and you've got quite a narrow lead over Shane King. You must be feeling the pressure a little bit.
Oh, I would say a little, yeah, but I think Shane will be feeling it too. You know, this is his home country, and it's always nice to do well in front of your home country and your hometown crowd. So, yeah, sure, I'm probably feeling a little bit, but I feel fit to just go there and do my best.
Up at the moment on the start, a clean drop of the MR gate, and we're on the inside. He's Doran, threes with him as well. Daryl King, the two of them almost side by side over the jump on the opening lap, but it's Daryl King that set the pace of the Kiwis out in the charge at the moment. This is the first semi-final. We've seen the heats, we've had the last chance into the heats, and now we've got those to go to the semis. We're looking now, of course, for the top riders, and this up in the Coca-Cola Super Feature later on our program. We're now coming under lights in the picturesque Stadium with the pace on at the moment from the flying number 3, Daryl King from Australia, behind him back to 8, Jason Moorfield. 6 is in there, Wellington Thrill Seeker, Peter Aldridge, but 1 steps on the inside. Shane King on the inside. We see in there, Shakri from Thailand. Semi as well, but certainly out in front, it's our master. He's the king of Supercross in New Zealand. He's the great Daryl King. He's got it all together at the moment. This injury has certainly been a problem for him of late, but he's certainly now going to throw that one aside and really pump the adrenaline. He'll be positive on the brain power to know that he must go out in front for the top competition here for the semi. 3 weeks to the magic. The MSR Kawasaki leading the charge. Certainly showing that they're a little bit off the pace, 250s, but when you see all of them in together, they're certainly like bugs on your bumper on a Friday night, a real swarm. Hello, he dropped the front off the top of that middle rut in the studded jump, and poised his balance back a little, but he still holds on to it. Look at the charge now in second. We can see the MR. The flying Shane King has moved to third. Look at Doran. Oh, it was wheel to wheel. I'm sure it was a touch there, but Doran holds it at the mark. Doran holds second, and we've got King to charge. He's coming in at third. Almost the fly into the side, but he knew he had to try and stay on the bike as well. Doran King to fight for second, but still Daryl holding it out in front at the moment. 3D1, the charge is on at the moment. The first semi of the night. These hot shots through to the Coca-Cola feature final, but 3 at the moment. Look at D's breaking clear. 1 is further back at the moment. It's Yamaha. YZ125 moves into third. In fact, look at that drop back. So now we're going to see an opportunity for 3 from D to charge it out in front. He's assured of third. This is the last lap. That's good enough. So the fight on. Daryl King, D, Troy Doran to take it through a comfortable run there. The Kiwis acknowledge our Kiwi hero. And here for number 1, the coastal line, Shane King. The second of the semis off the start, a clean one. We can see the international numbers in there. Ashkenazi, Phil Sargent on the outside. So it's go in at the moment. There we go to fly the Yamaha out in front. It's, oh no, Ashkenazi through the middle. I thought it was Sargent, so he got a brilliant run through Ashkenazi. Up through the middle, he was sweet. The bread had to drop off either side as Ashkenazi went on the side. Glenn Bell started Aussie lineup. A, S from B at the moment. Ashkenazi, airtime over the big smoke for new Yamaha. Then we go back to Bell. He's tucked up on the inside. So it's already A, S, B and M, a total Australian domination with Melton up there now on the Kawasaki. 9 now Super Stage 14, Team Tootle racer Brendan Tootle on the Suzuki. So it's A as we go back to the front. Ashkenazi, what a super performance. He was great to win his heat. He's already out in front of the semi. He already would have to be a top punter's pick for the up-and-coming Coca-Cola Super Feature Final, but that'll be over 20 laps. These are far shorter than that to find out who will go through. Racing Calendar Motorcycles, RM125 already out in front, so early in the race. Look at the time. A is flying at the moment. Ashkenazi breaks clear of the competition. We're looking for the best of the Aussies. Glenn Bell goes past on the hot shot. Radical Red, Ride 'em Hot Honda. So it's Ashkenazi back to back. Really to come in the picture at the moment, but it's those minor places is where the excitement will be for the riders to know whether they've got a chance to go through to the big Coca-Cola feature final. Hey, here he goes, Ashkenazi, number 1 in Australia for Supercross and for Motocross. Bell, look at that, a last chance. He did all 4 of the Towers Motel quads in one super jump. Melton done I think the thirdest of any of the riders we've seen. Here we come with our Kiwi, Damien King, and he's in front of Sargent, so a big change from the front earlier on, with Damien King the best of the Kiwis at the moment. So it's A, Ashkenazi, he leads the charge. Bell back to second. It'll take a bad folder for Ashkenazi to lose this one. Bell's there in second. He'll keep the hammer on. So we look back to the other placings. 40 to go through the lap rider. It'll be 10. Yes, here he comes, Damien King. He'll hold it nicely as the best Kiwi. Sargent still behind him. So from the front where the action is, Ashkenazi. Oh, big semi-trailer jump that's been made up with 3 of them tied a knot underneath the pile of dirt. So here we go. Ashkenazi showing it beautifully under lights here at the Fulton Hogan Stadium. Out in front, he's comfortably going through. He's just so smooth. He looks as if he's just having a Saturday night ride around the town. But he knows it's the magic of racing. He's got to keep it on. Look at Bell there. He'll certainly try and do his best to keep up with this one. Ashkenazi does all 4 of them. Beautiful run. The Suzuki really on the max at the moment. A out in front. Ashkenazi from Australia. And with B, Glenn Bell in second place. Certainly it's the Aussie domination at the moment, but it's only the semi at the moment. Our good Kiwi chances still to come in the up-and-coming Coca-Cola final. So it's A about to take on another lap rider. He'll move to the outside. Let him go through on the inside. Ashkenazi, Bell and Melton look to be the 3 in the picture at the moment. We take on a big gap in there with Melton. Look at that. He's way back. And yet he is, of course, the best placed of the international riders in the overall Coca-Cola series with 37 points after the opening 2 rounds. Here we go with Ashkenazi to take away the victory. Bell will be right in behind him. And then we'll look for the Aussie trio. Yes, Melton through to give us an Australian top 3 finish.
We've seen the heats for the Pan Pacific Championship. Who's your pick going into the final?
Well, I've got to be an honourable Kiwi. I think Shane King has just got it, but Ashkenazi, I think, will be the better of the Australians, and that'll be a real plus. If Shane can win, Ashkenazi in second, Melton has got a 5-point advantage overall in the Coca-Cola series, and that'll be a plus. If Shane can win, we can see Ashkenazi then and Melton further back. That'll really put Shane back in the hot seat with 2 rounds to go.
I'm going to go out there and give it everything, I think, definitely. Go out and kick some Aussie butt.
You feeling confident for the final round now?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's last race of the night. You know, everything's been going well so far. I've won both my heat races and semi-final. See if we can keep it together for the final, eh?
Well, start cam action right here on the outside. We've got number 12, Mitch Rowe, 14 there is Brendan Tudor, H from Japan, Hanada, 10, Damien King. The move along the line with B, Australian, Glenn Bell, D, Troy Doran, to our own number 3, Daryl King, who's lining up from 1 is Shane King. Moving to US with Dennis Hawthorne as the 1 minute board goes up from National Steward Ray Sherman. We look to A, Kim Ashkenazi. We've got M in there, Australian Peter Meldon, 9 our own Stacey Alderman, from 8 Jason Moorfield on the Mike Ramsey Kawasaki, S Phil Sargent, 11 Damon Smith, 6 is Peter Aldridge, C Shakri from Thailand, 22 Bradley Norton, and 16 Greg Near as we leave the Yamaha start gate. We're away into the first corner. First up, who's it going to be already? A, Ashkenazi. Oh, to steal a line right, he's a flyer. Who have we got there with him? Down on the inside, number 1, headed to the outside. So that's Shane King and Peter Meldon. A hot up already. Look at Meldon, he's trying to go through the gap up the middle. Kawasaki, but knocked back because that line is as good as the others, taken by Ashkenazi out for the front, and Shane King quickly moves into number 2 position. Airtime already in the opening lap with Ashkenazi out in front. The flying A back to a tight bunch of number 1 to come through. Shane King in there with the Kawasaki. So it's A1 US is Dennis Hawthorne and Peter Milton. 3 is in there, and no, 9 still Stacey Alderman from 3, Daryl King, and the wave of our other international riders for the feature race. We are back with the Ashkenazi in brilliant control out in front, has made that quick break really to his credit in early stages. 1 Shane King is there for second at the moment. He's made a slight break on the competition. The best of the rest US is Dennis Hawthorne and Peter Milton. 9 Stacey, 3 to come through. Our Daryl King and D Troy Doran in the picture. But we're back with the hotshot Suzuki front runner Kim Ashkenazi, the 18-year-old from Wollongong, New South Wales, Australia, leads the charge at the moment. 1 behind him, Shane King. He's setting the pace at the moment. Can King pull him in? This is going to be the hard part of the race for Shane. He'll have to keep up with him in the early part of the feature race. Ashkenazi out in front on the Yellow Magic Suzuki. Right behind him, Shane King. But it's Ashkenazi at the moment. There's the comparison from a lap ago. Still about the same, so Shane is matching him at the moment. Kiwis in with a chance. Ashkenazi, Shane King, the championship duo. It looks like it'll be the 2 of them to fight it out. They make the quick break already. An awesome air jump from US to fly M behind him. That was Dennis Hawthorne and Peter Meldon. So with A and 1, and look, he's definitely closing the margin. The best we've seen from Shane so far in the feature final. A, Ashkenazi, look at King right in behind. The charge is on. We could see a change soon. King, there they are, almost over that little jump in mid-air together on the hot line. But look at this already. Ashkenazi making a big break on the field. Shane King dropping it back in place. Perhaps now the hot pace telling of him doing the 250 motos, with Ashkenazi though just specialising in the Coca-Cola 125 feature. So it's a Ashkenazi in front. The boys balance the match together, 125, the Rooster Tail Dirt as he powers it nicely over the smoke-free treble. So we're into the tight bank corner on this. You can see that he's got a comfortable margin over King at the moment as he takes on the towers, does it nicely, 3 by 1 into Bridgestone. The pace is on. Ashkenazi has the magic. Oh, USA M from 3, that's Dennis Hawthorne to take it on as well to go through there. Of course, number 3, Daryl King and M Peter Meldon. So we're with the flying A out in the lead as he's come over the DB draft tunnel into the tight corner. Out in front, Ashkenazi, there's Shane. That shows you the deficit. He has closed some of that gap, although earlier it's quite wide in Ashkenazi's favour. King still in with a chance, but he's certainly going to have to pull off a miracle package because this Aussie hotshot is looking good at the moment. Airtime, we go. He gets a countdown of laps from the sign man at the end, so looking to the final stages of our Super Coca-Cola feature race. A out in front, Ashkenazi from Australia, looking to steal a limelight. Last year it was Eddie Warren from the US of A who won the international race. This time it'll be the Australian Ashkenazi, the way he's holding it at the moment. The brilliance of this rider, certainly since we saw him in New Zealand for the first time just 3 weeks ago at Tokoroa, where Shane King beat him on that occasion. Oh, hello, the update, look at this. 3, we've got the change there. The change, we've had King, he's gone into 4th at the moment. So that was Melton to go through. Daryl King in 4th and back to 5th. USA's Dennis Hawthorne. So a revised race still with A1, but then we go back to M at 3 from US. It's Ashkenazi as we look at the moment to the live excitement. Ashkenazi takes it on. Oh, the poise and balance. I'm watching this one. He's going to come through. Oh, we see Hanada and Bella still going to fight it out. That great face, 6th and 7th place to look back to. Still not being lapped like many of the other riders. As we go to Shane King, there he is still in 2nd. There's your comparison point. And no, he still can't make a change. This man has got it to the finish, I believe, from here. Ashkenazi, can the hotshot Aussie hold it? A goes through the 5 jumps, does it nicely. There's the last lap sign. He's only got the one to do. The one to go for Ashkenazi. From here, it's going to be a plain sailing run till the end. Ashkenazi could take out the feature race. I know the crowd will be delighted with this one. He's been a favourite here in Christchurch tonight. Ashkenazi, high flying. Look at the airtime over the smoke-free treble super jump. Ashkenazi burns it off the top, and he is out with a pace. Look at though King behind him. He's charging. King's got nothing to lose. Oh, 3 and a 1. I thought he might have done the 4. He's going to try it. A1, the race is on. It's not going to be over till the checkered flag goes down. I still believe Ash will hold for this one, but we're seeing King charge. He's got nothing to lose. The final feature race of the night. A1, the gas is on, the power's on. There they are. There's your comparison. It'll only take a minor hiccup from Ashkenazi, and it could give the advantage for King, so he'll have to hold it from here. Meters to go with the track. A from 1, the Kawasaki trio, then to fight it out. Let's see how they'll go to the line later. But it's A at the moment. Ashkenazi's only got 6 obstacles to the finish. There's 5. There's another one. The finish. He's delighted. The hand up in the air. Another championship victory for the great Kim Ashkenazi, the new rising star from Australia. He's ecstatic about this one. He'll come round and stop just after the finish. This will be the wrap-up to the race. Look at that, the acknowledgement from the sportsmen. No, they've had a great race. That's the sportsmanship in our game. Fantastic to see the wrap-up. The delighted Kim Ashkenazi wins it.
A great ride in the final there by Australian Kim Ashkenazi, but just looking at the point situation for the Supercross Pan Pacific Series, and Australian Peter Melton still leads, but it's a very slender lead of about 3 points over Kiwi Shane King as they go into round 3 in Thailand next week, and Japanese factory rider Hanada on 25 points in third.